All right, she's a columnist by day, gun owner by night. And Emily Miller, there shooting in the day, wants to set the record straight about assault weapons before the White House has this big meeting on gun violence, and that'll be later today. So here she is, Washington Times columnist Emily Miller. Emily, how do you feel, first off, about the big push to get assault weapons, so-called assault weapons, off the streets, like which passed in 1994?
Well, it's obviously a big push by President Obama, and now Dianne Feinstein has finally introduced her legislation in the Senate last week. And really, it's just an end run to get all guns. We had the so-called assault weapons ban in effect from 1994 to 2004, and as you know, crime did not decrease at all. So it was not effective. It didn't do anything, and since then, actually, crime ownership has gone up and violent crime has gone down 17%. So It had the opposite effects.
Right. Emily, I want you to hear, for those who didn't see, Senator Feinstein last week. Listen.
Do you realize we have 150,000 plus gang members in this nation? When they go up against the police, it's generally an AK-47. Do you realize that police have had to break into gun stores to get weapons that would be stronger than the adversary they had? Do you realize that 1 out of every 5 law enforcement officers that's killed is killed with an assault weapons? Do you need assault weapons? These are weapons that are made to kill large numbers of people in close combat.
Emily, your answer?
Well, I'll say the world, according to Dianne Feinstein, is very different than reality. It is absolutely not true that people are walking down the streets carrying AK-47s. If someone saw one, I shot one last week at Sharpshooters Range in Virginia. It's a wooden rifle. I think if so many gang members are walking down the street with a large wooden rifle, people would run in the other direction. They're also semi-automatics. They just sound scary, and that's why she deliberately uses that phrase. And it's absolutely not true whatsoever that most 1/5 of law enforcement are killed by these so-called assault weapons. Dianne Feinstein said herself last week that by her numbers, which are always exaggerated, there are 38 people killed a year with these so-called assault weapons, which, by the way, are semi-automatic rifles with certain cosmetic appearances. So 38 a year, it's really not a massive public health scare.
Right. The other thing is, I thought it was very significant, she says gang members are using these. So now if they're illegal, I'm sure the gang members will give them up because they do not want to break the law. Number two, I thought it was fascinating to see the chief of police here in New York City say, yeah, if you want to take assault weapons, that's one thing, but our problem is handguns.
Well, that's true. I mean, if you're going to be truthful about it, the bigger issue is handguns, and I'm just talking about street violence, because you can hide them easily, and it's just quite simply different than rifles. But that's why what they're doing is they're going after these big black guns because the public looks at them and are afraid because they think they're automatic guns. They think they're what the military uses. So it's an easy way to sort of build public support, but the reality is it's the handguns that are more dangerous.
Gotcha. Emily Miller doesn't just write about it. She takes action. She shoots and finds out for herself. Emily Miller, thanks so much. We're going to need you again because the debate is just beginning.
It's going to be a long year.
Yeah.